Let them go and learn to be happy alone. Denzel Washington motivation, Stoicism. Sometimes the hardest part isn't letting go, but learning to start over. Nicole Soban. In life, we often find ourselves holding on to things, relationships, jobs, or even old habits, because we fear the unknown or the loneliness that may come with letting go. But what if the true path to happiness lies in learning to be content on our own, without relying on external validation or attachments? Today, on Stoic in Your Life, we're diving into the power of letting go and how it can free you to embrace personal growth and happiness. Have you ever struggled with letting go of something that no longer serves you? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Let's start a conversation about how we can all learn to grow stronger by embracing the freedom of being alone. Number 1. Why do we hold on to things that no longer serve us? Before we can truly understand the reasons behind our attachment to things that no longer serve us, it's important to explore the underlying factors that often keep us tethered to the past. These factors can stem from deep-seated fears or societal expectations that limit our ability to move forward. First, we must confront the fear of change and the loneliness that often accompanies letting go, which can prevent us from freeing ourselves. In life, there's often a question we need to ask ourselves. Why do we hold on to things, people, or situations that no longer serve us? At the core of this struggle lies the fear of change and, intertwined with it, the fear of loneliness. Change is a powerful force, and it can be one of the most paralyzing things we face. When we are accustomed to certain people, places, or routines, the thought of stepping away from them can be terrifying. The fear of the unknown, the fear of what might come next or whether we can handle it, holds us back. We cling to what's familiar, even when it no longer nourishes us, because it feels safer. But here's where we must reflect. How often do we allow the comfort of familiarity to stifle our growth? Think of how many times we've stayed in a relationship or situation that drained us simply because we were afraid of being alone or uncertain about what change might bring. This fear of loneliness can make the idea of detaching unbearable. Loneliness, however, is a misunderstood concept. It's not about being unloved or unwanted. Loneliness is about reconnecting with yourself and realizing that true happiness doesn't rely on others' presence or validation. The Stoic secrets remind us that personal growth often arises in solitude. It's in those quiet moments alone, when we are forced to face our own thoughts, that we can truly discover who we are and what we want. You see, growth doesn't always come from external support, but from finding strength within. When was the last time you allowed yourself to be alone, just to listen to your thoughts and reflect on who you really are? Can you remember a moment where being alone actually led you to a breakthrough, a new realization about yourself or your life's direction? Embracing solitude can be incredibly liberating, opening doors to opportunities we may have never imagined, all because we chose to let go of what no longer serves us. This is where true transformation begins. Let's pause and reflect. Have you ever been stuck in a toxic friendship, job, or habit that you just couldn't seem to break free from? The problem isn't the situation itself, but the fear of change, the fear of what you might lose, or what you might not be able to handle in the face of uncertainty. Stoic secrets teach us that we are the masters of our own reactions. We can choose how to respond to life's challenges, no matter how hard they seem. It's not the world that defines us, but how we engage with it. And sometimes that means letting go of the things that are holding us back. For instance, take a moment and think of someone you admire for their resilience. Perhaps they've gone through a tough time and emerged stronger. What did they have to give up in order to grow? What did they learn about themselves along the way? This doesn't mean we should cut off people carelessly, but it does challenge us to reconsider what we're holding on to out of fear. Fear of loneliness, fear of change. The real question is, can we break free from that fear and embrace a new chapter, even when it feels uncertain? In the end, what do we gain from learning to let go? A deeper sense of self-awareness and strength. a clearer understanding of what truly matters in life. Instead of fearing loneliness, we can see it as a chance to become our best selves, untethered, independent, and capable of building a life that doesn't rely on external validation. It's not about avoiding change, it's about trusting ourselves enough to know we can handle whatever comes our way. So ask yourself, are you ready to let go of what no longer serves you? Are you ready to face the fear of change, and in doing so, discover a strength within you that you never knew existed? The message is clear. Embracing solitude and change is not a loss, but a path to personal growth. Life will keep throwing challenges your way, and the only way to navigate them with wisdom and grace is to understand that you have everything you need within you. It's not about waiting for external validation. It's about using the power of Stoic secrets to guide your journey, wherever it may lead. The fear of loneliness and change will always be there, but so too will your inner strength, if only you dare to trust it. In addition to the fear of change, societal pressure and expectations from others plays a significant role in keeping us stuck. In today's fast-paced world, external pressures from societal expectations and judgments influence our decisions and shape our self-worth. We often measure ourselves based on the relationships we have, the career success we achieve, and how well we fit into social norms. These external factors weigh heavily on us, creating a constant tension between our true desires and the expectations placed on us. This struggle is particularly evident in how we seek approval from others, whether in our social circles, professional achievements, or romantic relationships. The fear of being judged, disappointing others, or appearing weak can't hold us back from making the difficult decisions that would ultimately lead to a healthier, more authentic life. Society teaches us that success is defined by external markers, the relationships we cultivate, the status of our jobs, or the level of prestige we achieve. We're conditioned to believe that climbing the social ladder or securing a high-paying job equates to happiness. However, this is often a false narrative. While these achievements may provide short-term satisfaction, they can leave us feeling unfulfilled if they don't align with our true values and purpose. When we find ourselves in a toxic relationship or stuck in a draining job, the fear of judgment makes it hard to leave. We worry that we'll be seen as weak or indecisive, afraid that others will question our choices or label us as failures. This fear of judgment can paralyze us, keeping us trapped in situations that prevent personal growth and happiness. The weight of societal judgment often binds us to relationships and jobs that no longer serve us, creating a false sense of obligation to stay in unhealthy circumstances. Yet, Stoic philosophy offers a remedy to this fear. According to Stoics like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, we cannot control what others think, and it is unnecessary to waste our energy on it. By realizing that other people's opinions are outside our control, we can free ourselves from the anxiety of living up to their expectations. The Stoic view encourages us to prioritize what we can control, our actions and thoughts, rather than being at the mercy of societal judgment. Another issue compounded by societal pressures is the notion that we must always prioritize others over ourselves. Many of us are taught to value selflessness, to put others' needs before our own. While compassion and caring for others are virtuous, when taken to the extreme, this mindset can lead to burnout and neglect of our own well-being. By focusing so much on meeting others' needs, we can end up sacrificing our own happiness and emotional health. This self-sacrifice, often glorified by society, can leave us feeling emotionally drained and disconnected from our own desires. Paradoxically, when we neglect our own well-being, we are less able to help others in a meaningful way, as we can't give from an empty cup. Modern Stoicism teaches us that self-care is not selfish. It is necessary for a balanced and fulfilled life. By taking care of our mental, emotional, and physical health, we can more effectively serve others in the long term. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Our happiness is not determined by external factors or the approval of others, but by how we choose to perceive and respond to those factors. This shift in perspective is at the heart of modern Stoicism. It encourages us to examine our values and define success on our own terms, independent of society's expectations. True happiness comes from within, and by releasing ourselves from the need for external validation, we create the space to live authentically. We begin to make decisions that reflect our core values, which leads to a life filled with purpose and fulfillment. Letting go of toxic relationships, jobs, or social expectations requires courage. It is not about being callous or indifferent to others, but recognizing that our own happiness and well-being are essential for a meaningful life. Stoicism teaches that we are the architects of our own happiness. We must have the strength to choose paths that lead to growth and fulfillment, even if those choices go against societal norms. As Seneca noted, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Time is precious, and we must use it wisely, letting go of what no longer serves us to embrace a life of authenticity and purpose. Embracing modern Stoicism offers a way to reclaim control over our lives, free from the burdens of societal pressure and judgment. It encourages us to challenge the narratives imposed by others and cultivate a mindset focused on our own well-being. By understanding that we cannot control others' opinions and recognizing the importance of self-care, we open ourselves to making decisions that align with our true values. Letting go of the need for external validation is not an act of rebellion, but an act of self-love and wisdom. By embracing Stoic principles, we can achieve the peace and fulfillment we seek, free from the limitations imposed by society. Number 2. Why letting go is a process of self-liberation. Letting go is one of the hardest yet most liberating processes you can undertake. It's a challenge because we often cling to things, people, places, situations, that have become familiar, even if they no longer serve us. You may have been in a toxic relationship, stuck in a draining job, or holding on to habits that are keeping you from moving forward. In these moments, it can feel like letting go means losing part of yourself, but in reality, it is the very key to finding who you truly are. When you release these attachments, you stop living in stagnation. Instead, you free yourself to explore new opportunities, experiences, and paths that can lead to greater fulfillment and growth. It's about creating space in your life, a space where you can evolve into the best version of yourself. Think about it for a moment. What would it feel like to release the weight of past hurt, outdated beliefs, or the need for external validation? Letting go isn't just about cutting ties. It's about reclaiming your power. When you stop letting external forces dictate your happiness, you begin to realize a profound truth. The power to shape your own happiness lies within you. Imagine no longer relying on anyone else's approval to feel good about yourself. How different would your life be if your happiness was determined by your own choices, rather than the circumstances around you? This process of self-liberation is about transformation. It's not just a one-time decision, but an ongoing journey that invites new ways of thinking, being, and living. The beauty of letting go is that it opens the door to personal transformation. You're not just freeing yourself from negative influences, you're making room for something greater. This could be a new passion, a healthier relationship, or a clearer path to your true purpose in life. Just as a cluttered room feels suffocating, a cluttered mind or heart can keep you stuck. Letting go of what doesn't serve you creates clarity, a fresh slate, and the space to explore new dreams and goals. By shedding these old layers, you start to reconnect with your true self. Without distractions, you can hear your own voice more clearly, rediscover your passions, and determine what truly matters to you. You might even start to realize that the things you thought were important, keeping up with the Joneses, impressing others, chasing external markers of success, were never the keys to happiness at all. Instead, when you begin to listen to your inner self, you unlock a deeper understanding of your worth. This isn't to say that letting go is easy, nor does it happen overnight. It takes time, courage, and often a fair amount of self-reflection. But consider this. What would your life look like if you started saying goodbye to the things that hold you back? What would it feel like to step into a life that you have chosen, based on what you value most? Letting go is a powerful form of self-love, and in that process, you reclaim your happiness and peace of mind. Now, to truly understand the power of letting go, let's consider a modern example. Take the story of someone like Steve Jobs, who was ousted from Apple, the company he founded. Imagine what would have happened if Jobs had clung to the familiar, even though the people and the situation no longer served him. Instead, he chose to let go. He embraced the freedom that came with that release, and it opened up new doors. This wasn't just about leaving behind an old company. It was about making space for new ideas, new inventions, and ultimately, a new version of himself. When he returned to Apple years later, he was not the same man who had been fired. He had grown, evolved, and rediscovered his true calling. In this way, letting go became his pathway to success, and his story serves as a profound reminder that releasing what no longer serves us can often lead to greater opportunities. Why is this process of letting go so crucial? It's because it's about much more than simply eliminating negativity. It's about making space for positivity, for growth, and for a future that is in alignment with your true self. Letting go is not just a reaction to life's challenges. It's an empowering decision to take control of your destiny. The Stoic secrets of letting go encourage us to understand that we have the ability to rise above the temporary setbacks or losses in our lives. By releasing what we cannot control and focusing on what we can, we unlock the ability to create our own path. This shift in mindset allows us to move forward with clarity, purpose, and strength. The more we let go of the old, the more we create room for the new. And the beauty of it is that as we let go, we embrace the freedom to become the person we were always meant to be. As you reflect on your own life, consider, what can you let go of today to make room for a more meaningful tomorrow? And how can you use that space to reconnect with your true passions, your true goals, and ultimately your true happiness? The power is within you. Are you ready to let go of what's holding you back and begin your journey of liberation? Comment, "I'm ready to let go," or "I want to take this journey," if you're ready to let go and learn how to be happy on your own. But remember, this is just the beginning. There's so much more to discover. Stay tuned until the end because we have many more insights that will guide you to a life filled with purpose and happiness. Number 3. The process of learning to be happy alone. Learning to be happy alone is not just about isolation, but about rediscovering and cultivating a deeper relationship with oneself. This process involves taking time to reconnect with the things that truly bring us joy and fulfillment. To begin the process of finding happiness in solitude, it's essential to reconnect with the things that once sparked joy in us. In life, there's a growing misconception that kindness and the pursuit of happiness are inherently tied to external validation or constant companionship. Denzel Washington, in his motivational speeches, often emphasizes how too much kindness or sacrificing your own happiness for the sake of others can eventually lead to personal burnout. And while it's important to be generous and compassionate, sometimes the most profound change comes when we learn to be happy on our own, without depending on others to fill that void. The process of learning to be happy alone is not a rejection of kindness, but rather a necessary step to understanding and nurturing ourselves. As the ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This resonates deeply with modern Stoicism, which encourages self-sufficiency, independence, and the ability to find happiness within ourselves. One of the first steps in learning to be happy alone is rediscovering your passions and personal interests. In our busy, interconnected world, it's all too easy to lose sight of who we are and what we love. We become distracted by other people's expectations, societal pressures, or the sheer noise of daily life. Many of us wake up one day and realize that we no longer remember what brought us joy. It's not uncommon for people to find themselves wrapped up in unhealthy relationships or surrounded by limiting habits that have consumed their time and energy. But when we make the conscious decision to let go of these things, we open up the space to reconnect with what truly matters to us. It's within this space of solitude that we can rediscover hobbies and interests that once brought us immense joy, but have since been neglected. Whether it's picking up a long-forgotten book, learning a new language, or returning to an old creative pursuit like painting or playing music, these activities become more than just distractions. They become tools for self-renewal. Moreover, by spending time alone, you can explore new passions that may have never crossed your mind before. Modern Stoicism teaches us that fulfillment does not come from the approval of others, but from engaging in activities that align with our inner values. This is why developing new skills or discovering a new hobby can be so powerful. It shifts our focus from seeking external validation to creating our own sense of purpose. You'll find that joy doesn't always come from grand gestures or dramatic events. Sometimes the quiet moments spent hiking through nature or the peaceful solitude of exploring new corners of the world hold the most profound joy. These simple, self-reflective moments allow us to reignite our inner spark and tap into a deeper sense of fulfillment. The process of learning to be happy alone is about building a relationship with yourself. It's a practice of cultivating self-awareness, recognizing your own needs, and nurturing your own growth. When we're constantly around others, we often lose sight of our true selves. It's easy to adopt someone else's beliefs or desires as our own, and without realizing it, we lose the clarity we once had. But when we choose to spend time alone, we're given the rare opportunity to recalibrate, to examine what we want out of life, and to make conscious choices that align with our values. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future." This is a sentiment that rings particularly true in modern life, where the rush to achieve and constantly please others often leaves us hollow. Engaging in these solo activities isn't a retreat from life. It's a proactive way to reconnect with the world on your terms. It allows you to approach relationships and external engagements from a position of strength and self-sufficiency, rather than from a place of desperation or need. When you learn to be happy on your own, you develop a deeper sense of confidence and clarity that spills over into every aspect of your life. You begin to make choices based not on fear of loneliness, but on genuine desire and alignment with your authentic self. Modern Stoicism teaches that true freedom comes when we stop relying on external sources for our happiness. Only then can we find the peace that eludes many of us when we're constantly seeking approval or validation from others. Learning to be happy alone doesn't mean you should avoid people or reject love. It means you should learn to be content with who you are before you invite others into your life. When you are comfortable with your own company, relationships become more enriching and meaningful, because you aren't depending on others to fulfill a void. Instead, you bring your whole fulfilled self to the table, which strengthens connections and allows you to give without sacrificing your own happiness. In today's world, where social media and constant connectivity often push us into codependent relationships, this lesson is more important than ever. By embracing solitude, you equip yourself with the strength to live independently and to contribute to the lives of others without losing yourself in the process. So rather than seeing time alone as a burden, view it as a gift, an opportunity to reconnect with your passions, rediscover your purpose, and ultimately find joy in the simplest of moments. While learning to be happy alone is about self-sufficiency, it doesn't mean complete isolation from others. Building positive, supportive relationships is crucial. Learning to be happy on your own doesn't mean cutting yourself off from others. It means knowing how to choose the right people to surround yourself with. Let's face it, life can feel overwhelming at times, and the people we spend time with play a huge role in shaping how we feel, how we see the world, and how we grow. The key is knowing who is worth your time and energy. By letting go of toxic, draining relationships, you create space for those who truly have your best interests at heart, people who encourage your growth, challenge you to be better, and provide genuine support. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that being alone means you're missing something, but sometimes being by yourself is the best thing for your personal development. This is where the wisdom of Stoic secrets comes in. True strength doesn't come from being surrounded by people all the time, but from choosing relationships that nurture your emotional well-being and help you become the best version of yourself. Think about the relationships in your life. Are they positive? Do the people around you genuinely want the best for you? Or are they simply taking from you, whether emotionally or in other ways? In your pursuit of happiness and fulfillment, who are you allowing to influence you? Imagine the difference it would make if you consciously chose to invest your time and energy in people who lift you up, rather than those who leave you feeling drained and undervalued. It's not about being a hermit or cutting ties with everyone, but about building a network of relationships that are based on mutual respect, trust, and a shared desire to grow together. A modern example: consider someone like Steve Jobs. He didn't isolate himself, but he was incredibly selective about the people he allowed into his inner circle. He chose individuals who challenged him, who didn't just agree with him for the sake of it, but who pushed him to think differently and think bigger. The result? A legacy that changed the world. This is the power of positive relationships. When you surround yourself with people who value you for who you are, not just for what you can give them, you allow yourself to flourish. Take a moment and ask yourself, are the people in your life helping you grow, or are they keeping you stuck in old patterns? Are you ready to build meaningful, supportive relationships that align with your values and aspirations? The Stoic approach teaches us that we have control over who we allow into our lives and how we engage with them. We don't have to settle for relationships that drain us or hold us back. Instead, we can choose to cultivate connections that push us toward becoming the best version of ourselves. True happiness doesn't come from external sources. It comes from knowing who you are, aligning with those who respect that, and making sure the relationships you build are ones that fuel your personal growth and emotional well-being. What kind of people are you allowing into your life? And more importantly, are you willing to let go of the ones who no longer serve your growth? This is one of the Stoic secrets. Choose your companions wisely, because they will either help you rise or cause you to fall. Surround yourself with those who encourage your best self, and the journey of self-discovery will become a much more fulfilling path. At the core of being happy alone is the practice of treating ourselves with love and compassion. In a world that constantly pressures us to seek validation from others, one of the most transformative acts we can do is learn to treat ourselves with love and compassion. Denzel Washington often emphasizes the importance of building a healthy relationship with ourselves, which is where true strength begins. We frequently let our harshest critic be our own inner voice, pointing out every flaw and mistake. However, as modern Stoicism teaches, the journey to personal growth begins with self-acceptance. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher, wisely stated, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This highlights the essence of self-compassion, shifting our internal dialogue from negativity to understanding and care. Treating yourself with love and compassion involves recognizing that growth is not a linear process. Mistakes, setbacks, and challenges are inevitable in life, but they do not define our worth. How you treat yourself during these moments shapes your ability to recover and move forward. Instead of focusing on perfection, it's important to focus on progress. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn, not a reason to criticize yourself. In fact, embracing kindness during failure is one of the most powerful ways to build emotional resilience. It teaches you that your value is not determined by your mistakes, but by your ability to learn and improve. The Stoics believed that every challenge is a chance for growth. As Seneca put it, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Self-compassion also means recognizing and celebrating your strengths and achievements. In the rush of daily life, we often overlook our successes, especially when we're focused on doing more or being better. Acknowledging your progress, no matter how small, fosters a sense of pride and confidence. This helps build emotional stability and inner peace. Today's world encourages constant comparison, but Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control: our actions, thoughts, and responses. By doing so, we free ourselves from the stress of external validation and focus on what truly matters, cultivating self-acceptance and resilience. Modern Stoicism reminds us that true happiness doesn't come from external recognition, but from nurturing our inner peace. Moreover, self-compassion involves forgiving yourself for past mistakes and emotional wounds. Many carry the weight of past regrets, but holding on to these burdens only prevents us from embracing the present. True healing comes through self-forgiveness, allowing us to release guilt and shame. Forgiveness isn't about excusing past behavior, but about letting go of the emotional power those experiences have over us. This enables us to move beyond past limitations and step into a future of personal growth. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, advised, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Learning to be your own best friend is one of the most impactful ways to foster lasting change in your life. When you treat yourself with love, compassion, and patience, you begin to trust yourself more deeply. This trust is essential for emotional resilience, giving you the strength to face challenges without feeling overwhelmed. Instead of relying on others for validation, you become your own source of support. This inner peace naturally extends to your relationships with others, enhancing your ability to offer kindness and support. In a world full of pressures and expectations, self-trust and compassion act as powerful antidotes to stress and self-doubt. Treating yourself with love and compassion is essential for leading a fulfilled and resilient life. It involves shifting focus from external judgments to nurturing the relationship you have with yourself. As modern Stoicism teaches, happiness comes from within, and self-compassion is the first step toward inner tranquility. The journey to self-love and compassion is ongoing, but it rewards you with a deeper sense of purpose and emotional strength. So, embrace the practice of self-compassion, because when you become your own best friend, you unlock limitless potential. Number 4. Embrace loneliness and find joy. In today's world, loneliness is often seen as something to fear, an uncomfortable void to be avoided at all costs. Yet, as modern Stoicism teaches us, embracing loneliness can be one of the most powerful catalysts for personal growth. Rather than a sign of being abandoned or unwanted, solitude can offer a unique opportunity to reconnect with our true selves and reevaluate what we really need in life. As Denzel Washington once said, "Don't be afraid of being alone. You have to enjoy your own company before anyone else will." This resonates deeply with the Stoic mindset, which encourages self-reliance and independence as pathways to inner strength and happiness. When we allow ourselves the space to be alone, we free ourselves from the external noise that often shapes our thoughts and decisions. This quietude offers us the rare chance for true introspection, where we can dive deep into understanding our deepest desires, motivations, and fears. In the solitude of our own thoughts, we can gain clarity on what truly matters in life and distinguish between what is fleeting and what is lasting. Just as the Stoics emphasized the importance of examining our lives, solitude becomes the perfect setting for this self-reflection. It is in these moments that we confront our past wounds, acknowledge the choices that have brought us to where we are, and begin to envision a future grounded in purpose and authenticity. Moreover, loneliness isn't synonymous with isolation. On the contrary, it offers us a chance to redefine our relationships with ourselves and with others. In embracing our own company, we cultivate a sense of self-love and emotional independence that allows us to engage more fully with the world, without the need for validation from external sources. Modern Stoicism teaches us that external circumstances are beyond our control, but how we respond to them is within our power. By finding contentment in solitude, we become less dependent on others for our happiness and more attuned to our inner peace. This inner peace is the bedrock on which we can build a resilient and fulfilling life. In a world that often equates social status and constant interaction with success, embracing loneliness requires courage. But as Seneca once wrote, It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Loneliness offers us the rare opportunity to stop wasting time on distractions and instead invest in the most valuable relationship we will ever have, the one with ourselves. This is a time for us to heal, to reassess, and to grow. It is when we are alone that we can find the space to truly understand who we are and what we want from life, free from the opinions and expectations of others. The joy that comes from this self-discovery is profound, as it creates a solid foundation for a life led by intention and purpose. In practical terms, embracing loneliness doesn't mean withdrawing completely from the world, but rather learning to find joy in solitude. It means carving out time for personal reflection, pursuing hobbies and interests that bring us peace, and even learning to enjoy the quiet moments in life. The solitude we cultivate becomes a source of strength, a strength that allows us to face the challenges of life with greater resilience and clarity. The ability to find joy in being alone is not just about avoiding external chaos. It's about discovering a deeper, more lasting form of happiness that resides within us. Embracing loneliness in this way transforms it from a feared and misunderstood state into a profound opportunity for self-growth. It teaches us that true happiness and peace come from within, not from the constant validation or companionship of others. As Marcus Aurelius wisely put it, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. By choosing to embrace loneliness, we allow ourselves the space to cultivate a higher quality of thought, one rooted in self-awareness, self-love, and true contentment. In doing so, we embark on a journey of transformation that equips us to handle life's ups and downs with equanimity, finding joy in both solitude and connection alike. In the hustle and bustle of modern life, we often look for external sources of happiness, whether in our relationships, careers, or possessions. But the Stoics remind us that the greatest source of contentment lies within, in our ability to embrace solitude and grow from it. When we learn to enjoy our own company, we unlock a deeper sense of fulfillment that no external circumstance can take away. This is not merely an abstract philosophy, but a practical approach to living a life of true freedom and joy, in which we are our own best companions, and from that place of inner strength, we can engage with the world in a more authentic and meaningful way. Have you ever experienced the power of being happy alone? Comment yes if you've found peace in solitude, or comment 1 if you're ready to start this journey. And make sure to stay until the end of the video. There's a special surprise waiting for you that could change everything you thought you knew about happiness. Number 5. The benefits of being happy alone. The modern world often encourages us to seek constant validation from others, making the pursuit of happiness a shared endeavor. However, one of the most transformative lessons we can learn is the power and the freedom that comes with being content in our own company. When we shift away from relying on others for our happiness, we unlock an immense potential for personal growth. True happiness isn't dependent on external factors, and the realization that we are capable of cultivating our own joy is a profound one. This internal empowerment cannot be stripped away by anyone, nor can it be shaken by the unpredictable forces of life. As we embrace solitude, we gain strength and resilience. We start to understand that contentment doesn't lie in the approval of others or in fleeting moments of external pleasure, but rather within ourselves. It is in these quiet moments of reflection and solitude that we discover the deeper dimensions of joy. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This idea aligns with the principle that when we stop looking outside for fulfillment, we find peace within. Being happy alone does not mean isolating oneself from others or avoiding relationships. In fact, it is quite the opposite. When we become comfortable in our own skin, when we are no longer dependent on others to define our worth, we are better equipped to form deeper, more authentic connections. Our relationships shift from being rooted in need and dependency to one based on mutual respect and understanding. Instead of seeking constant validation from those around us, we approach relationships with a sense of balance. We no longer rely on them to fill a void. Instead, we come to the table as whole individuals, ready to share our unique selves. This change in mindset leads to more fulfilling, meaningful relationships, and ironically, the deeper the connection with others becomes, the more we come to appreciate the solitude that first helped us discover ourselves. Moreover, the ability to be content alone empowers us to make healthier choices in all areas of our lives, especially when it comes to relationships. When we have no fear of loneliness, we no longer feel compelled to remain in toxic or unhealthy situations. We gain the courage to walk away from what no longer serves us, knowing that we do not need anyone else to define our worth. This self-reliance and inner strength is the cornerstone of modern Stoicism, where we learn that we are not beholden to the whims of others or the external world for our happiness. In embracing our solitude, we make a powerful declaration: we are enough as we are, and we are capable of shaping our own lives. The Stoics taught us that true freedom comes not from seeking approval or validation, but from detaching ourselves from the need to be constantly affirmed. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Therefore, our happiness does not rely on external circumstances, but on our ability to cultivate peace and contentment from within. In our fast-paced, interconnected world, it can be difficult to grasp the significance of solitude, but in reality, it offers us the ultimate opportunity for self-discovery and growth. The art of being alone is not about withdrawing from the world. It's about stepping back to reconnect with our true selves. By cultivating happiness on our own terms, we become more resilient, more self-aware, and better equipped to navigate life's challenges. Through modern Stoicism, we learn to embrace solitude not as something to fear, but as a valuable tool for personal strength. The key lies in realizing that we do not need others to complete us. Instead, we are whole, and it is from this completeness that our relationships, ambitions, and purpose in life flourish. In learning to be content with our own company, we discover a deeper, more sustainable form of happiness that transcends the fleeting and external, bringing us closer to the ultimate peace that lies within. The path to happiness begins not in the arms of others, but in our own embrace. Learning to be happy alone is not a retreat from the world. It is a profound act of self-empowerment. By accepting our own company, we free ourselves from the burdens of external expectations, and we create the foundation for more meaningful connections with others. The wisdom of the Stoics, alongside the lessons of modern Stoicism, teaches us that contentment is not something to be sought externally, but nurtured from within. Through self-reliance and solitude, we discover a joy that cannot be taken from us, a joy that is rooted in the ultimate truth that we are enough, just as we are. This is the key to a fulfilled, resilient life. Number 6. Embracing new beginnings. Letting go isn't just about saying goodbye to what no longer serves you. It's about making room for something better, something that aligns more closely with who you are and who you are becoming. The process of releasing old attachments, whether they be relationships, careers, or outdated beliefs, might initially feel unsettling, even painful. But this discomfort is often the catalyst for new beginnings, for opportunities that were always waiting on the other side of what you thought was an ending. In the moment of vulnerability, when you're unsure of what's to come, that's when the door to growth swings open. You see, new beginnings may not look like what you expected, but they are exactly what you need to evolve. Have you ever found that when something you thought you couldn't live without falls away, something better always takes its place? It's in these moments of uncertainty that we begin to unlock the next chapter of our lives, full of potential and transformation. The key is learning to embrace change instead of fearing it. When you change the way you look at transitions, from seeing them as loss to understanding them as an opportunity for renewal, you begin to approach life differently. You might be facing the end of a job, the end of a relationship, or simply the need to leave behind an old habit. But if you can shift your perspective and see it not as an end but as a fresh start, you'll realize that it's the beginning of something bigger. What would it feel like to step into a future where you are no longer tied to the past, where you are free to redefine yourself? The truth is, the more you let go of what is no longer serving you, the more you create space for new people, experiences, and opportunities that are in alignment with your true values. There is power in starting over, in being able to write your own story. Think of someone like Oprah Winfrey, who faced numerous setbacks in her career. But each time, she embraced the possibility of starting anew. Whether it was moving from one network to another or evolving her personal brand, she continuously embraced new beginnings, and each time she did, she moved closer to her true purpose. What would it feel like to have that kind of freedom? To know that you have the ability to start fresh whenever you choose, no matter how many failures or setbacks you've faced along the way. By letting go of the past, you step into a version of yourself that is not defined by what has happened to you, but by the choices you make moving forward. Embracing new beginnings is a chance to let go of old habits, patterns, and relationships that no longer support your growth. Maybe you've been stuck in a toxic cycle, whether in the way you relate to others or even how you view yourself. But with the clarity that comes from releasing the past, you can break free from those old patterns and create a life that is healthier and more fulfilling. Have you noticed how, when you finally let go of something that's been dragging you down, you feel a sense of lightness, like a burden has been lifted? That's because new beginnings are an invitation to let go of what's holding you back. With each new chapter, you're given the chance to choose more consciously, to make decisions that support your emotional, mental, and physical well-being. In embracing these new beginnings, you align yourself with the flow of life. Life is fluid. It's always evolving, and so are you. Change may not always come easily, but it's always necessary for growth. Think about it. If life never changed, would you still be the person you are today? Probably not. Each new chapter gives you a chance to become stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your true purpose. As you step into this new version of yourself, remember that each new beginning is an opportunity to reconnect with your deeper values and to shape a future that excites and fulfills you. Letting go may be difficult, but it's also freeing. By releasing what no longer serves you, you unlock the potential for a life that is more vibrant, more meaningful, and more aligned with who you truly are. Think of it this way: each time you let go, you make space for new growth. The Stoic secrets teach us that life isn't static. It's a series of cycles, each one offering a chance for renewal. What can you let go of today to make room for a new chapter? What changes, however small, could lead to something greater in your life? When you embrace new beginnings, you embrace the life you're truly meant to live. And remember, with each beginning, you become more aligned with your true purpose, stronger than before, and ready to face whatever comes next. Thank you for sticking with me until the end. If you found this message meaningful, I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Simply write "happiness" and "I choose happiness on my own" to reflect the power of embracing solitude and self-contentment. Your voice matters, and together we can create a space of shared growth and positive energy. As you reflect on the power of letting go, remember that it's not about losing anything. It's about gaining everything: freedom, peace, and a deeper connection with yourself. Choosing to let go is an act of self-liberation, allowing you to break free from the emotional burdens that hold you back from living authentically. By learning to be happy alone, you unlock a world of new possibilities and growth. I encourage you to apply these principles in your life. Embrace the freedom of letting go, reclaim your happiness, and trust that your best days are ahead. What is one thing you can let go of today to create space for your future? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to share in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation going. Remember, your journey toward happiness begins with you. Stay strong, stay focused, and keep living stoically. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to Stoic in Your Life for more insights and motivation on how to live a fulfilling, empowered life.